let people jump in here. So if you can, please like and share this video. Let people know they can come attend this for the next 15-20 minutes. We're going to talk about credit. How's it going, Chris Wood? How's it going, Lene? Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. Good starts here first of the week. So yeah, we'll definitely get right into this. In the meantime, so I got something cool in the mail today. Actually, it was yesterday. I ordered this thing online. Hi there, Mitzi. How's it going? I ordered this thing online about 3 months ago, and it took so long to get delivered. I completely forgot. And so then my receptionist yesterday, she comes into the office and she hands me a package, and I'm like, what is this? I'm not expecting anything and everything like that. Thank you, Amir. I appreciate it. I'm not expecting anything, and then she's excited to open it as well. So my receptionist, she's like, what is it? What is it? And so we're looking, and I open it, and it's my $100, my gold $100, gold plated $100 bills. So it's pretty cool, huh? So I mean, I was I completely forgot all about this. I like it a lot though. It's good for memorabilia, stuff like that. It's actually pretty sturdy. It's really nice. I got two of them. I got a new $100 bill, and then I got an old $100 bill. What do you got here? Your hair is good. You already, yeah, we saw that. We're going to work on the waves. But yeah, so that was my rant. So yeah, people want to talk about anything for the next, people are jumping in left and right. Cool. So tonight is going to be a really good topic, because what I want to talk about is why scores drop throughout the day or throughout the month. This is something that it's a question I get commonly from my current clients, past clients, and then people who are potential clients or whatever it may be, just questions out of the blue. And so, I mean, I feel that it's a good topic to discuss so that people cannot be so alarmed or so triggered the second they see their score drop. So that's what we're definitely going to focus on tonight. So again, we'll give it about one more minute. It is it's only 7:02. I thought it was a little longer. I thought I'd ramble a little longer than that. So in the meantime, anybody got any other thing they want to bring forth? Anybody have any questions about credit? I'll jump on it right now before we jump into the topic. But if not, we could just get started. People need to start being on time. Punctuality is key, right? So either way, so let's get started. So again, tonight we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons why, Curtis, I'll talk to you later, Curtis. So we're talking about the top 5 reasons credit scores drop. And so the main reason of this is that a lot of people, the good thing that I like about our day and age today is so much more of us are more aware and more alert about credit now. It is something that you're seeing a lot more on TV. You see it a lot more on the internet. You see it over social media. It is being spoken about a whole lot more than it was even 5 years ago. I mean, it's been pretty prominent as of late. But because of the word credit, people only focus on the score aspect. And so they're only fixated on my score. Is it high? Is it low? That's all people, and people know if their score is low. They don't even want to look at it. They try to stay far away from it, but out of sight, out of mind does not make the problem go away. Because what a lot of people think of, oh, my credit went bad, but I know that in 7 years, my scores these accounts fall off my credit, and I'm going to have good credit again, right? Wrong. No credit means if you have no credit whatsoever, so let's just give the scenario. Say you have bad credit, right? 4 or 5 years ago, you lost your job, times got rough, went through a divorce, whatever it may be, and then you just let go of all your payments. You let everything go bad, everything charged off, you got a million collections, and you're saying to yourself, I don't really care, I'll just focus on cash, I'll get everything back in order, and all this stuff's going to fall off my credit in 7 years. I'll have good credit then. That's not true, because what's going to happen is in 7 years, when all of that stuff, so things do fall off your credit in 7 years, so people need to know that. If an account goes bad, goes delinquent, 7 years from the date that it goes delinquent, it will fall off your credit. But say you had 10 negative items, right? That's all you had. You had a couple credit cards, you had an auto loan that got repossessed now. I mean, just everything. So you had about 10 items. All of them went bad. Well, in 7 years, all 10 of those items will fall off your credit on their own. They're just going to fall off. But what happens at that 7-year mark, you have a clean slate. There is nothing on your credit. So you don't have good credit. You can't have good credit without credit. You're not going to have a good credit score with no credit. So just because you let things fall off does not mean you will have a good credit score. It does not work like that. What it means is that you need to start rebuilding your credit. You need to apply for new credit. You need to reestablish yourself, get a new credit card, get a new auto loan, and by making those payments consistently and timely, that will equate to you having a better credit score. But just things falling off your credit does not mean you will have a good credit score. It does not work like that. So again, we're going to talk about why do your scores drop? And I'm going to give you two different scenarios. I'm going to talk one about someone who's just not in credit repair. A lot of you that are on this call right now, just people who may be interested. Why did my score drop? And then I'll tell you why in the credit repair process, why scores drop. So initially, the top 5 reasons to me why scores drop. Because again, I get phone calls all the time from people who just saying like, I mean, they'll call me for random scores. And I mean, they'll say like, oh, my score dropped 2 points. And it's just like, relax. Just calm down. 2 points is not the end of the world. Like I seriously had someone last week say, like panicking, my score dropped 2 points. What is going on? Like 2 points, it's not the end of the world. You went from a 658 to a 656. What is that going to do? That doesn't do anything. Just relax. It's just, that's what happened today. So one thing you have to keep in mind is scores are like the stock exchange. They go up and down all day, every day. They fluctuate throughout the month. And this is just because we're all in score brackets. We're in scorecards where the average of that group is changing all the time. New people are coming into that group. People are leaving that group that you're in. So as those new scores come in, it may bring the group down. So everybody's score drops that day. Or if the group is everybody's paying their bills on time, that scorecard goes up, everybody's score increases. So these things just happen on their own in the background. You have no control over that. But what you do have control over is the 5 reasons why I'm saying your score may drop. Number 1 is utilization rate. So if you don't know what utilization rate is, I'll sum it up. Your credit card, when you get a credit card, you are given a limit. So we're going to keep numbers very simple. Let's say you get a credit card for $1,000. The rule of thumb is to never exceed 30% of that limit. So whatever your limit is, if you exceed 30%, you will start being penalized when it comes to your score because you're increasing your utilization rate. So if you get a $1,000 limit, and you spend $400 on it for whatever reason because you bought new tires for your car, that's totally fine. It's not the end of the world, but you're now at 40% of that limit. So FICO is going to penalize you for it. The scoring model is going to ding you for that because you're 10% above the recommended usage line. So the second that you go past, so as soon as you hit 31%, your score will start to tank. And it will keep going down the higher you keep going up on that credit card. And so this works with all of your credit cards together. So if you have 5 credit cards and they're all maxed out, I don't care if you've never missed a payment. Your credit score is going to drop. That's just what happens. It happens to me a lot. As a business owner, my score can go from a 750 to a 550, just like that. And the reason being is that I have to use a lot of my own personal credit to finance a lot, to pay bills, to pay payroll and stuff like that. So I don't have bad credit, but credit score wise, there can be months where my score is at like a 580. And I don't care. I honestly do not care because I know that once I make my bills, once I pay everything back, it'll go back up. It'll go back in 30 days. I'm not worried about that. And that's where a lot of people get so overly concerned and so stressed out because they're saying, oh, my credit score is a 560. It's the end of the world. No, it is not. Pay your bills, pay the balances back down, and your score will go back up. So, like, that's the number 1 reason. A lot of people who call me, like, I'll get people who ring my phone out of the blue, and they'll say, oh, I found you on Yelp or Google or Facebook or whatever, and I need help. I need help with credit repair. And so I ask, what's the problem? And they'll say, oh, my credit score dropped 25 points. Okay, what happened? Did you miss a payment? No, I've never missed a payment. I'm on auto pay. I make all my payments on time. I have good credit, but my credit score dropped 25 points. I went from a 690 to I'm now a 660. Like, what happened? And so I'll say, okay, let me see your credit reports. They send me a copy of the credit report, and they're right. No negative accounts whatsoever. No collections, no charge-offs, no late payments. But I can see they have a credit card where they're using 70% of that limit. They're using 75%. They have $1,000 and they're spending $780. And I say, hey, so what's going on with this credit card? Oh, I had to pay for my kids to go to school. Like I had to buy clothing or whatnot. So I had to spend like $500. That was your reason. The second that you decided to overextend that usage, the score dropped. And it's going to continue to be that way until you get it back in a positive state, till you get back below 30%. So there's no way around it. So a lot of people constantly like they're afraid and wondering why their score is dropping. And it's like, well, it's dropping because you're using your credit card. So every time that you're using it and going past 30%, your score is going to drop. So that's just how it works. So again, rule of thumb, 30%, keep it there, you'll be fine. Second one is obviously payment history. Make your payments on time. Like, I cannot emphasize it enough. If you miss a payment, your score is going to drop drastically. 30 points will kill you. Actually, I had a client who stopped by the office who signed up today. He said his credit score was about like a 725 last month. Hi, baby. Hi, Honor. So he said his credit score was about a 725 last month. He said that he has auto pay with Capital One. But what happened was, he said for whatever reason, Capital One didn't take the payment out. And he said he knows for a fact because it's always been on auto pay, just didn't get paid or whatever. And then he checked and saw it was 30 days late, went on his credit. His credit score today is like a 665. So he went from a 725 to a 665. And all that he had was one 30-day late from Capital One. And it dropped him 60 points. And again, that can happen. So you have to always be very cautious about your credit card payments. Make sure they're on time, because the second you miss, it will kill you significantly. And then the further you continue to miss, you miss 30 days. Okay, it happens. Go make your payment now. Your interest may go up. You're going to get a late fee, whatever. But make that payment now to stop that bleeding. Because if you don't, you're going to go to 60 days late. Then 90 days late, 120, 150, 180. Once you get to that 90-day mark, there's no turning around. This thing is going to start looking like a bankruptcy on your credit. It's going to kill your credit. You're going to find yourself, you could have a 770 credit score, and if you have one credit card go 90 days late, you're now like a 580. Just like that. You can have tons of great credit, but that one credit card will do that to you just like that. And now you're panicking because you were probably going to try to buy a home in the next 90 days. You've been saving up, and oh my God, I completely forgot. So don't let that happen to you. Number 3 is cutting off paying off credit cards and closing them. That is just a huge mistake. Don't close a credit card. For whatever reason, I don't want to hear it. Do not close a credit card. Because the only way you can have good credit is by having open and active credit. So if you close it, that information is no longer being reported anymore. So it's going to stop that relationship. And what can happen is, say for example, you had 3 or 4 credit cards and then you cut one off and that one actually had a good limit on it. Say that one had like a $2,500 limit and you actually paid it off in full. So instead of having $2,500 of available credit, you chop that off right away. And let's say you had 2 credit cards that were maxed out. So instead of going from an overall utilization rate of like say 50 to 60%, you just by paying off a credit card, because this is an honest mistake. I call them honest mistakes all the time. You just paid off a credit card thinking you did the right thing and you closed it. But again, it shuts off that utilization rate or that limit. So now you have 2 maxed out credit cards. Because these actually, so you have, say you have 2 credit cards, one has $500, one has $700. They're maxed out though. But you had the big one that you took all your money, you got a bonus check or you got your tax return, you paid that big one off and you closed it. Because like, oh, I don't go there, I don't shop there, I don't ever use that card. Again, well, what happens is you just cut that history off and you cut that utilization rate completely in half. So that utilization rate is no longer available. So it looks like you're just completely maxed out on your available credit. Because you only have 2 credit cards now, and both of them have no funds left over. So your score will take a huge hit. So something that you were doing the right thing can potentially backfire. So that's something to always keep in mind. Do not close a credit card. Pay it off, keep it open. Use it once every 6 months. That way it continues to stay open. They will keep increasing the limit. They will keep building history, will build length of history for you. And all of these things are components to help keep increasing your credit score. Again, you can't have good credit with no credit. Closing credit cards means no credit. That history's gone. That account, it may be on your credit now, but it's going to fall off in 7 years. So everything that you worked hard for will stop. So you don't want that to happen. So the next number 4, another reason, always check your credit for any inaccuracy. So if you see something that's not your account, that could definitely drop you. Like say you get an alert and it's like, I don't know, a collection from AT&T popped up on your Credit Karma app. And you're like, wait, what? I don't have AT&T, I got Sprint. Where did this come from? You can look into it right away. You call the credit bureaus, you call AT&T, say, where did this come from? This is not my account. Never had an account with AT&T. Remove this right away. So things like that, paying attention to your credit report regularly will always keep you alert of what's going on. This can prevent your scores from dropping because you'll now catch it as soon as it happens. And then another thing is, a lot of people are authorized users on spouses' accounts and friends or family members. My client who signed up today, again, who had the 30-day late, his wife is actually an authorized user on that account. So as I said to him, like, hey, this just impacted her as well. So you guys got to pay attention to that. A lot of people try to piggyback and jump on credit. Like, I got to build my credit up and reestablish myself. And you sign up with somebody, a friend or a family member, and they, for whatever reason, may forget. Life got busy. They missed that payment. Well, not only did they get the 30-day late, but you also have that 30-day late as well. And you can't simply say, oh, this is not my account. This shouldn't be my 30-day late. Remove it. And it's like, well, no. You can't only benefit from the positive side from having a good credit card. If something goes wrong, you're responsible as well. So that's those are my reasons why credit scores can drop. The 5th reason is just purely simple of, again, rebucketing. For the most part, like I was saying earlier, you can just be in a group where scores fluctuate. It goes up and down throughout the month. You can see your score drop 10 points this week, and the next month it skyrockets 25, 30 points. It happens. Rebucketing happens all the time. So again, don't freak out. If you see your score drop, always go check your credit report. Don't just, oh, my score dropped, what happened? And you're panicking, you're going in a frenzy. Figure out why it dropped. Did something look out of whack? Did you miss a payment? If you didn't, say, okay, did I overspend on a credit card this month? Oh yeah, actually I did. We bought groceries, or we did this, we went on a vacation, whatever. If that's not the case, you say you didn't spend, you keep your balances low. Is there any information, something that got added that you're unfamiliar with? Something you can dispute with the bureaus? So pay attention to these things. So all I'm really saying is that if you see your score drop, don't panic. Just don't. Just look at your credit report and figure out why this may have happened. Look at a credit report from yesterday. Because if your score dropped today, that's a new report. You get a new report every single day. So if the score drops today, look at what your report was yesterday. Did you have, so like say yesterday said you had 10 positive accounts, right? So if you look at your credit report, it says 10 positive accounts, but then you look today and it says 9 positive accounts. And you're like, wait, that could be the reason why. You may have an account that was old that you paid off and closed may have fallen off your credit today. And because of that, your score dropped 26 points. Again, there's a lot of different reasons, but what I'm saying is don't panic right away. So that's my take on why credit scores drop if you're just an individual just trying to protect your credit on your own. Now I want to talk about why credit scores drop during the credit repair process. So if you are repairing your credit, or if you hired someone to repair your credit, whatever it may be, and you're going through this journey, why potentially can scores drop? So when people sign up for credit repair, they're obviously thinking, I want a good credit score. I'm expecting my scores to increase and improve, go up, so I can go buy a home, I can buy a car, I can apply for student loans, whatever it may be. There's a lot of different reasons why people choose to join credit repair. But one of the things that we never, as a credit repair specialist, as an owner of a credit repair company, one of the things that we don't ever want to happen is someone's score drop. Because just as detrimental as it is for you guys to see your score drop. It is heartbreaking for us as well. I feel the pain, especially if I'm working to help you. I've had clients, I remember the first time I had a client that I helped and his credit score dropped like 150 points. And it blew our minds. Like, cause I'm like, he signed up for credit repair and we had a great first month, a great second month, and like his scores were going up. He started off like a 560, then he jumped up to like a 620, 630, and then that third month, we pretty much got everything wiped off his credit, cleaned it all off, all the negatives, and his scores plummeted to like a 515. So he went from like a 620, 630 to like a 515. He was like panicking. I was panicking because I didn't know what was really going on. I'm like, hey, all we're doing is trying to clean up the credit report. What happened? And essentially, he was rebucketed. What a rebucket is, as I was saying earlier in this call, is that we're all in groups. We're all in specific categories and specific scorecards. And what happens is the scorecard that you're in, you have similar credit and similar scores to other people, meaning same type of accounts. Maybe everybody in this group has 3 collections and a charge-off, or whatever it may be. Everybody is very similar, so the scores all match and things like that. Well, what happens with rebucketing is if you clean off a credit report, you graduate to a higher bucket. So in his case, we clean off the negative accounts and then his scores plummeted. And the reason why they plummeted is because, as I said, scores are on a bell curve. He was graduated to a higher bucket, but he was at the bottom of this group. And so I just told him, hey, be patient. We're going to work this thing out. We're going to figure it out. And then 30 days later, we got an update. Credit score was like a 760, 770, something like that. And so it just blew like up 300 points. And it was just like, again, this is a very rare situation, but that can happen. And so I'll tell you why. So when people come for credit repair, again, the main goal of most people is I want a better credit score. It's usually what everybody is seeking. But as I try to teach all of my clients throughout this process is don't focus on the score, focus on the report. You want more negative items removed than you want a good credit score. But you don't know that. All that you know is I want a good credit score because I believe that if I have a 700 credit score, I can get whatever I want. That's not the case. Because again, if you have a 700 credit score and you have unpaid collections or you have a charge off or you have a late payment that was 6 months ago, whatever it may be, you can still be denied credit. Simple as that. For example, you may have a 720 credit score, but if you had a late payment within the last 12 months, you can't get approved for a mortgage loan. Mortgage lenders and underwriters are not going to approve a mortgage loan even at a 720 if you've had a late payment in the last 12 months. That's just what it is. So this goes back to proving scores don't really mean as much as you guys put emphasis on. You focus more on the credit report and having a clean credit profile, you will have a better score with time doing the right things. So scores do drop, and reasons why they drop. A lot of people who sign up for credit repair, majority of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, is really that high, don't have positive credit. They come to me or they come to my company or you guys go to someone else, you go to a friend or you do it yourself, and all that you really have is bad credit. You have nothing positive. All that you are plagued with, like if you look at your credit report, it's just late payments and it's charge-offs and it's collections and it's judgments and it's bankruptcies. That's all that you have. You have nothing positive. So a credit repair specialist is going to look at your credit report, and his job is to get rid of as many negative and inaccurate, misleading, unverifiable, untimely, as much information as possible. That is what he is supposed to do. He is supposed to clean up your credit profile. So when he does that, though, when he gets rid of the negative accounts, so we'll keep these numbers small. Say you have 5 negative accounts. You have 5 negative accounts, right? You got 2 collections, a couple late payments, and a charge-off. If he gets all 5 of those deleted, well, let's say, and we'll give you a credit score about a 5, that's about like a 575, around that range, something like that. That's where you'll probably be. So if you're like a 575 with just these 5 negative accounts, if he deletes 3 of them, maybe the 2 collections and a charge-off, your score may drop. You may go from a 575 to a 525. And now you're upset because you're like, wait, I'm paying you for credit repair. I'm paying you to fix my credit. Why did my scores drop? What is going on? Like, and I hear it all the time. People come to me, especially after the first month. They'll say, why did my scores drop? This doesn't work. This isn't for me, blah, blah, blah. I hear it all the time. And it's like, no, that is not the case. What is going on is you have no credit. So what we're doing is we're cleaning off the report, and you're getting closer to a clean slate. So again, as I said earlier, if you have a clean slate and nothing on your credit, you have no credit score. There's nothing the bureaus can give you, can base your history off of, so they can't give you a credit score. It just doesn't work that way. That's like, again, it's like taking a test and you don't answer anything. Well, it's like, well, then I can't grade you. There's nothing there for me to grade you on. So that's why you have no score. So it's the same thing with a credit score. So in the repair process, we're focused on trying to remove as much of the negative items as possible. And as we continue to remove the negative items, you are looking like you're 18 years old again. You're looking like you're starting all over again. And so this is where I tell clients, this is what you want to get to. You want to get into the position in which you can apply for new credit and without being denied. That's what you want to happen. You want to be able to go online and apply for American Express, or apply, you can go to Bloomingdale's and get approved. That's what you're hoping for. It's not about the score. It's about getting approved for new credit. Credit that is beneficial to you, so that way you use it correctly. And so that's what you're hoping for. And once you have the new credit, it will start to increase your score. Because you got to look at it like a scale. So let's look at it like a scale, right? So let's say in one hand, all you have is negative credit. Just a bunch of negative accounts, right? You have no positive credit. Well, this scale looks like this. It's weighing down with all these negative accounts. Well, as I start to get rid of the negatives, I still don't have any positive, but I'm starting to get rid of these negatives. It starts shifting and it balances out. And what do you look? Okay, there's no more negative accounts. There's no more positive accounts. So what happens? It's equal. It's zero. There's nothing there. You have no credit score. So what do you start to do now? You apply for credit. So now you start getting good credit. It's getting positive. The positive's getting heavy. Now you have a 700 credit score. You have this heavy credit score. That's how it works. You got to shift the scale. A lot of people come into it with nothing positive, just the bad. And it's like, why is my score going down? It's not working. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. And then, or again, what happens is why I don't like posting results is because some people will say, oh, well, I saw on Yelp and I saw on Google that you got these great reviews and people have such great scores. Why is it not working for me? Well, those people who signed up with me who had a 600 credit score, who now got a 780, 800, what happened with them was they came to me with a scale like this. It wasn't too far off, but they had some positives and they had a little bit of negatives. And then once I got those negatives off right away, that dropped heavy. That positive fell right through the ground. So that flipped that scale right away. So their score went from a 600 to a 700 right away. So that's like how it all works. So you definitely need to start having positive credit. So in the repair process, it's not going to work right away for everybody. But you want to just get in a position of, don't be so worried about why is your score dropping or why is it not going up as fast as you were liking. Is it working? And it's like, well, look at your report. You had 15 negative accounts last month. This month you have 6. Obviously it's working. It's just not working score-wise like you're hoping, but the account-wise, it definitely is. So that's how you always got to pay attention to it. So don't get so panicky and over-consumed with the score aspect. So I have a question. Is it safe to get a secure credit card that you put your own money on and rebuild your credit with? Yes, Aisha, that's one of the best ways to do it. A lot of people don't want to put a deposit down because a lot of people say, oh, I need a credit card, but I don't have an extra $200 or I don't have this to get a secure card. But what you guys got to understand is for a bank, they do the secure cards because they do need some type of collateral. They want to make sure, like they're going to give you a line of credit. You're going to put a deposit down. They'll give you a line of credit secured or whatnot. But the reason why they do that is just because your history to them is too alarming. It's too much of a risk. You're a high risk client. So in order for us to make sure we don't get burned, to make sure we're just not giving away money, yes, we will give you a line of credit to help build your credit, but it's at the expense of you're going to give us a deposit. If you make your payments on time for a certain amount of months, we may graduate you to an unsecured line of credit where we'll increase it and shift your deposit into your limit. So there's ways that they can juggle it, but yes, a secured credit card is arguably one of probably the number one best thing to do when applying for trying to build your credit. Hi there, Delmy. Good to see you. Marlon, man, my score dropped 50 points after I paid my car off a year earlier. Yes, absolutely, Marlon. So we'll talk I'll talk about why that happened. So Marlon, you're a great example of doing the right thing and it backfires. There's just no way around it. And so again, I don't even say that's an honest mistake because it's not. That you just, hey, I got some extra cash. I'm going to pay off my auto loan because I don't want a car payment anymore. Why did my score drop? Well, it's just simple. It's based on the simple fact that when you get an auto loan, it's an installment loan. It's not a line of credit. So it's not a credit card. It's not a secured card, not an unsecured card. It's an installment loan. So it's weighed differently on your credit report. So because what happens is, let's say you get an auto loan for $20,000. As soon as you sign that dotted line, you're now $20,000 in debt. You're not building credit essentially. You're in debt automatically $20,000. So what you're doing with an installment loan is you're just paying back what you borrowed. So versus a credit card, if I gave you a $20,000 credit card and you don't use any of it, it's a $0 balance, you have $20,000 available, it looks amazing. It's the greatest thing ever because to a lender, it shows you spend money wisely. You're not relying on credit. While with a loan, what you're doing, you already have the debt, you're just paying it off. And in your case, you paid it off faster, which is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But yes, your score drops because that history that you were getting ends. Once that loan is paid off, you're not benefiting from it anymore. So your score is not going up, anything like that, just simply due to the fact that it just cut off. Like, hey, Marlon, it was great doing business with you. That's where we stop. So the account's now closed. You can't really gain from it anymore, so it happens. But it's only temporary. Usually you can see your scores bounce back in a matter of 60 to 90 days. It'll go back up to where you originally was. But that's usually how it happens. Let's see. I saw another question. Desi, so would you suggest taking out a $300 to $400 to bank to get a secure card? Yeah, absolutely, Desi. You may not even need $300 to $400. Again, you just want to get rolling. So even if it's a $200 line of credit, because you can get a $200 secure credit card, right? You don't even need to use it. Use it maybe every single month just to buy gas. One time a month to buy gas or whatever it may be. Just put one bill, pay it off, make sure it's a low amount. And as long as it's not going past the 30% limit, it's going to help you. So what you really want to do is just get something going. You want something to be in your corner vouching for you, that you're paying your bills on time, you keep your balances low, because that's what FICO is going to use to build your credit score. So that's just how it all works. Moss, good seeing you. So essentially, that's how all this pans out. So the moral of the story is, if you see your score drop, it's not the end of the world. Don't panic. Don't drop everything that you're doing. Don't worry about it. I mean, I'm not going to say don't worry about it, but what you want to do is figure out why it dropped. Just don't automatically assume the worst of the worst. Try to figure out why this may have occurred. Is it something you could have prevented? Or is it something just simply as you used your credit card too much that month? That's just really what it boils down to. And then once you figure that out, you will now know how to attack it. Because like I said, I'm not trying to make it seem like I don't want people calling me to say, oh, my credit score dropped 5 points. What's going on? No, it's just a matter of, like I said, I get it all the time. Like, people call me saying the score dropped for less than 5 points. Like, that doesn't mean anything. If you drop 5 points, you're still fine. You're in the same bracket. Nothing really matters. It only matters like if you were on a cusp and say you were a 620 and now you're a 615, but you went from good to now below average or whatever it may be. Then it's like, okay, you got to figure that out. So yeah, I wish my fiance was listening to. Perfect for her. Hey, Desi, you can like and share. You can share this video. So all of you are here, definitely share it with friends and family members. I'll definitely save it so it'll be uploaded. You can share it on their walls. Pass this information along, because the more information that's out there, people can benefit from. But other than that, that's all that I had to say. Again, like I said, I'm working really on trying to keep these things as rapid as possible and not prolonging them. So now I'll just open it up to questions. We'll do this about the next 5 minutes. But if not, that's what we'll call the day. Again, we'll do this again next Tuesday. I am going to try my best to upload a video every single day. That is like one of the things that I'm working on. And they're going to be small videos. So you're probably going to be like 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm just going to record them on YouTube. They're not going to be live like this. I'm only going to do live on Tuesdays. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm really getting the habit of trying to upload a video at least once a day or every 2 days where it's just something about what to do if you get a debt collector, or what to do if a debt collector's calling you, what to do about a late payment. So that's what I'm going to focus on because I just want to get this information out to you guys. So that way you have it. So that way you can all start working on your credit on your own. You do not need a credit repair specialist. You do not need a credit repair company. You can do it on your own. But again, if you don't have the time or the patience and you want someone who's an expert to do it, definitely give us a call. We can help you. All right, so let me open this up to questions. Shannon, what would be your advice on getting a large loan and rolling over other loans into one? Great question. So you're talking more so, a lot of people will think of that like consolidation. If you want to consolidate your loans, like, hey, I owe $20,000 in debt between all my credit cards and my loans and whatnot. So can I get approved for a $20,000 loan? Would a consolidation company roll all of those accounts into one bucket so that way everything else is paid off and I just got one loan to pay off? Now, that's a great, it's an excellent decision to make. But you have to understand there's 2 ways to go about it. And I'm going to give you the bad way and a good way. The bad one is that doing debt consolidation. If you someone who watched these videos with me throughout the year, you know that I am hugely against debt consolidation. One of the worst decisions anyone can make. I don't agree with it. I'm so against debt consolidation. So for those of you who don't know what debt consolidation is and want to know why I don't like it, very quickly, debt consolidation is contacting a company like National Debt Release, stuff like that. You can find them all over Google. And what happens is you will go out to them and you'll say, hey, like I'm just overwhelmed in debt. I can't catch up. I'm falling behind on all my credit cards. My interest is high. My payments is high. I can't keep up. So I need to consolidate all this debt, get a low payment, get it settled and whatnot. Like that's what I want to do. So these debt consolidators, they don't tell you that in order to do debt consolidation, you have to damage your credit. So the way the process works is, let's say you have 10 accounts, right? 10 accounts and you have $20,000 in debt. You can't afford it, so you're hoping that you can get this consolidated into one loan. What happens with debt consolidators, what they'll do is, they'll tell you, do not pay any of your credit cards. As of today, you stop paying all of them. And then you're going to wonder, wait, why would I do that? Like, I got good credit. I just got a lot of debt. But to them, the way that they work is by you not paying your credit cards, by you stopping payments to Bank of America and Chase and Capital One and American Express, when you stop paying them, you go 30 days late, 60 days, 90 days, 120, 150, 180, and then they close your account out. They charge you off. So again, now you have 10 negative accounts that are just destroyed. And your credit score went from a 700 to now a 493. And you're like, what just happened? It's just like a whirlwind, everything's spinning. You don't know why all this happened because all you knew was, I just got a lot of debt. But this person I spoke to, his debt consolidation company, said don't pay. So I did what he told me not to do. So the reason why they tell you to do that is because when you go through the process of not paying your bills, one is going to happen is you're going to get a lot of phone calls. You're going to get phone calls left and right. They're going to be hounding you because you're now 90 days late. They're trying to find you. And now it's like, man, they calling family and friends, and it's just crazy. And so the reason why they do that is because once the account becomes charged off, the bank is now going to write it off for their tax purposes. They really know that, hey, we're accepting it as a loss. Jane Doe is not about to pay us the $2,000 she owes us. So they write it off. But what happens is, what these consolidators do is, Now that they've written you off, you have a charge off, which is one of the worst things you can get on your credit. But you have now 10 of them because you didn't pay 10 accounts. And they're now going to go to each one of them. So they're going to go to Bank of America, who you owe $2,000, right? And they're going to say, hey, Bank of America, like, you guys charged my client Jane Doe off, but she wants to make good with this account and she wants to pay it. But we want to settle it for less than full. So you guys want $2,000. My client has $600 she can pay you right now. And Bank of America is going to come back saying, no, I want my whole $2,000 or there's no deal. Then your debt consolidator is going to go back to them and say, okay, we'll do it for $1,200. And then Bank of America is going to say, okay, fine. Make this one payment of $1,200. We'll write it off. $0 balance is done. Then your debt consolidator is going to go to you and they're going to say, hey, Jane Doe, I got amazing news. We settled out your Bank of America account for $1,200 instead of that $2,000 plus the interest. So we saved you $800. Don't you love us? No, I don't love you. What? I got a charge off and I still got to pay $1,200. What sense does that make? But people don't know this and they get put in this position where debt consolidation ruins your credit. And so that's what happens. That's why I'm against debt consolidation, because not only will you have bad credit, you're still going to have to pay the debt. That's what's going to happen. So now, so instead of you saying, oh, I thought I was going to get a loan for $20,000 that was going to pay everybody off, and then I was just going to pay this $20,000 back. No, honey, it doesn't work like that. What's going to happen is you needed $20,000. They're going to settle out all your debts to now you maybe got to pay $13,000. So they saved you $7,000, but now you got bad credit. Oh, and don't forget, the debt consolidation company wants 10% of whatever they settled you out at. So they settled you for $13,000. So now you owe them $1,300. So you're going to pay now a total of $14,600, essentially. So instead of you thinking you were about to do debt consolidation to get your loans brought in, you now owe almost $15,000. You saved $5,000, but you now have a 400 credit score. And it's going to take 7 years for that to bounce back, or you're going to have to see a company like mine to help get those charge-offs off your credit. But now you're paying a debt consolidator, you're now paying the loans back that got settled, and then you're now going to pay me to fix your credit. So, not a fan of it. That's why I don't like debt consolidation. But now, so back to Sharon's question though. So she's saying, I'm assuming she's talking about a personal loan. So that's not, so that again, that was the bad side. Now the perfect side, the great side is if you have a good enough credit score and you have good enough income, get a personal loan from a bank or a credit union. So if you owe $20,000, go to the bank and say, hey, like, I need $20,000. I want to renovate my house. I want to start my own business. I want to do something, whatever. Get them to give you $20,000 in a loan. Because what's going to happen is, as I said earlier, a installment loan is different from different from a credit card. Because if I'm a bank and I give you $20,000 and you take that $20,000, you're automatically $20,000 in debt, but it's installment debt, so it's not hurting your credit score as much. Your score may drop maybe 10, 15 points, not the end of the world. I'd rather you do that, because what's going to happen is you take this personal loan and you pay off your 10 credit cards. Now you have 10 credit cards that have $0 balances. So your score, when you got the loan, may have dropped 10, 15 points, but because you paid off $20,000 in credit card usage, your score is going to jump up 70, 80, if not 100 points, just like that. And all that you're now focused on is paying back a loan that you're probably going to get a payment of like $400 back. I mean, $400 a month, which is worth it. I'd rather pay $400 for one loan than paying $600, $700 plus interest rates and all this other stuff for credit cards. And again, on top of that, your score is going up because you have 10 credit cards that no longer have a balance. So yes, Shannon, as you were saying, a personal loan is without a shadow of a doubt, unless you have cash to pay off credit cards. If you don't, a personal loan, if you have the credit score and you have the credit reports to do it, is the absolute best way to pretty much get rid of your debt, your credit card debt. I'm all for it. Get one loan, put all of that onto one loan, free up everything else, so that way you don't have 10 people saying you owe money, you just got one person. And you got 10 people that's saying, hey, she's excellent, nothing to worry about. So that's my take on those two. Anybody else got any other questions? But great questions so far. Let's see, just in case I missed anyone. Ross, what if a person has absolutely no credit and we add an authorized user account and they jump up 200 to 300 points? Ah, man, I can't see the whole. Okay. Oh, man, it showed the whole thing now. Sweet. Okay, so and a credit score jump up 200 to 300 points. How do creditors view that? They view it just like if they see it. You just gotta be careful of account abuse, is what they like to call it. Like if someone has no credit, right? Like you were saying, they have absolutely no credit. They get a trade line and their score jumps up significantly. That's totally fine, because what you have to remember is that you can do that for your own children. You can make your kids, once they turn 16, a authorized user. So say, for example, you have a $20,000 to $30,000 line of credit that's perfect, it has great history, and once your son or daughter turns 16, you make them an authorized user on that account. Your son or daughter may have a 700 to 800 credit score by the time they're 18. A bank is not going to say, oh, well, you're an authorized user, so you know what? We're still going to give you a $200 line of credit. No, it doesn't work like that. They're actually going to acknowledge that account just as it is. So if the score is a 700, a 800, they will take it that way. But underwriters will start to look at it in a negative light if they see someone who has no primary accounts, but all they have is 4 or 5 trade lines. Like someone they have no accounts open under their name. They're not a primary on any account, but they have 4 or 5 trade lines of $100,000 and whatnot. They're going to be wary about that. And again, it can lead to account abuse and things like that. So they may start to reject the profiles or applications if they receive. So you always want to be very careful. That's why I always tell people I don't recommend more than like 2 to 3 authorized user accounts for the most part. Again, you can with your spouse be authorized users or on each account if you guys want to. That's totally fine. But if there's someone like a friend or family, or you're purchasing trade lines, that I would be wary, because there are different types of addresses that people are associated with and stuff like that. So that's how we'll go about it. Kevin, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot, man. So anybody else have any other questions? 7:47. So man, time is flying. But I hope you guys are all benefiting from this and learning something new. Again, if you can, please like and share the video. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. I respond so much quicker on email than Facebook, because I get a million Facebook messages and I don't know if they're junk or I don't know if they're the real ones. So it's like sometimes I don't pay attention to. But my email is my baby. I'm in my emails all the time. So you can always email me at Sean, SEAN, at Oryzon, ORYZON, credit.com. So yeah. So other than that, that's pretty much it, unless anybody else got any other questions. Just an update. So yesterday was October 1st. We received notification from Best Company. So we did get moved up. So we are officially ranked number 7 credit repair company in the United States. So it's a good thing. It's an awesome thing. So we're now partnering with them with other things, going to try to grow the brand. I'm pushing heavy to keep moving this up. I honestly think we're probably going to move up to like number 5 soon. I think we're going to bump up about 2 more spots. But it's good because the only people ahead of us is Lexington Law, who's the largest credit repair company in the world. And so I think Lexington Law is number 2, actually behind creditrepair.com. I believe creditrepair.com is number 1. Then there's Lexington Law. And then there's like a couple other companies. But yeah, we're currently number 7. But I think that we're going to move up on that list. I'm excited. I'm pushing heavy for that. But yes, Desi, I'm going to do live videos every single Tuesday night, 7 p.m. You guys be here. I'll always have a topic. We'll go on a rant for about 30 minutes. Talk about whatever questions you guys have about credit. So again, it's just purely education. Nothing about me pitching anything like that. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But like I said, I'm going to work heavy. Tomorrow, I might make it start tomorrow. I need to actually make it start tomorrow. Where I'm going to do the video. So like I said, I'll probably be doing a video every single day. Like that is the goal, is to do some type of video. It's not going to be long, like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I'm just gonna hit a topic. Hey, if you got a debt collector calling you, this is what you need to do. Blah blah blah. So that way you guys know, hey, I learned something new today. So that's the goal. But other than that, unless anybody else has any other questions, I'm gonna wrap it up. I've been in the office since 6:30 this morning, so it's like, God, I'm ready to go home. But yeah, so I hope everybody's having a great evening. Again, if you can, please like and share the video. It means a lot to me because I actually speak to a lot of people that I don't even know, people that I'm not on my friends list, who will send me a message saying that they saw my video, like someone shared it on their page, and they appreciated that because they had a question about this and they didn't know. So again, if you guys can like and share the video, it means a lot. That's probably the thing that I like the most. But other than that, thank you all for being here. I hope that you all have a great evening. Kiss your kids if you have any. Kiss your spouses. And everybody be blessed. Have a great night.